does it feel to be an artist in residence at the Philharmonie?
Well, it has a really special significance because I've always loved the house, the institution, the public. As you said, there is a relationship there. So for it to blossom into this honor and this responsibility, it's of course very special. And also the whole team. It counts a lot because it really contributes to an atmosphere of trust. And then it's a propitious, cocoon for artistic freedom and for sharing with the public.
What are the advantages of being an artist in residence?
One of the difficulties in this life is that you sort of come and go. It's always between doors, and even if you have the ability, when you have a special connection, to pick up where you left off, it still always feels somehow, gehackt. And so this is a feeling of more continuity and having something to look forward to within the short term, where okay, before the season ends, I get to come back and do more music.
What excited you the most about collaborating with Gustavo Gimeno and the Luxembourg Philharmonic?
This had been a long time in the making because there had been a couple of missed opportunities with the orchestra. And to finally get to arrive here, sit down and make music with them, I have to say, from the first moment in the rehearsal. And this is the miracle of what we do. We're so lucky because then when you have this chemistry, this common understanding, you feel it immediately. And it's so wonderful when things are, selbstverständlich, musically. There is an evidence, as we say, and the energy flows. And in the way I know this is that after a rehearsal, when I think to myself, if things were to stop now, it would have been worth it. So even if we didn't get to the concert, it would already be a special moment of music making, and that was the case.
What was the rehearsal process for that concert?
It's a big responsibility because you have to be very exact in how you organize things. It's not just from a point of view of rhythm and pulsation. It also has to do with breathing as one. And so what I loved also with Gustavo, he's such a wonderful musician. We were able to really let the flow develop, play really long passages. But at the same time, he doesn't miss a thing, so he's very detailed in what he picks up on, and also very effective in how he corrects, knows how to inspire, bring out a color, bring out an inflection. So, really just a wonderful discovery for me. Yeah.
Why is it important for you to have your own piano on stage?
Having one's own instrument is, of course, the ultimate luxury. But if you think about all my colleagues, look at Stoll. Look at Constantin with his own voice, or of course any of my violinist colleagues. In a way, if you think about it, it's complete. In French, you say hérésie. It's verrückt to be given an instrument which, no matter how good it is actually not the daily partner. I went looking for yours 2 days ago when I was here to practice, because I was in the dressing room, and then I thought, I'm going to go into the La Gamme and I'm going to look. And so I opened D5 and D6 and I started practicing on them. So yeah, it's like, Christmas Day every day with pianos.
Do you have a special warm-up routine?
I had a wonderful teacher, Pierre Barbizet, who always used to say, it's really interesting because you, of course, want to increase your odds by having practiced sufficiently, and you want to arrive in good shape, you want to have slept well, eaten properly, and sometimes everything is fine, and you start playing, and it's not there. Other times there is travel chaos, delays, you arrive hectic, you're not feeling well, you might have personal problems, and you start and the sound is there. For me, in general, there has to be, that's really non-negotiable during the day. At some point before the concert, there has to be a time phase where I try to turn off the mind and keep it from this, active, sort of bubbly area. And that usually involves some amount of darkness in the room and just complete silence and being able to just focus on breathing and staying in your tunnel. For me, I have a thing, for example, if I have a dress rehearsal with the orchestra and then a few hours later you have the concert, I try to take everything apart you know, kind of dismantle the piece, do everything really slowly, no pedal, and sort of, you know, consciously, deliberately put it back together, not just play on what is acquired.
Is there a piece that has had a significant impact on you?
I would say it's every piece that I play in the season. I mean, it has to be that way, in fact. And that's why sometimes the choosing process is difficult, because sometimes you get asked 2 years in advance, you know, what are you going to want to play? And you can make an educated guess, but it could be that when the time comes, your heart is in something else. I would say for me, always Brahms' First Piano Concerto is I mean, its status will never change. It will always be one of the most essential pieces of music, in my opinion, for my own being.
And a significant memory at the Philharmonie Luxembourg?
There's something about this house, yeah, when the people are really with you, there's a wonderful quality of concentration, and it doesn't have to do necessarily with silence. It's okay for people to have to, you know, move around, but where you feel that there are really, the energies are emerging. And I remember a couple of solo evenings where it felt almost palpable. Of course, also the experience with Theodor, Musik Eterna, which was actually my first time you know, working with him in the orchestra, and it happened in this house. Even the rehearsals in advance of also the Vienna concert and the Munich concert with Camerata Salzburg. I mean, that was one of the most significant, because for me it was my first reappearance in Europe after 2 years of COVID, where I had been in the US. I mean, it just felt absolutely incredible being on stage with them here and playing, you know, Mozart D minor concerto and Schumann with them, and it felt like such a celebration that will never leave me. And now, last but not least, the experience with the orchestra and Gustavo this week. Yeah, really top. So.